This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, Brewers Outlet, and NIL Game Changers. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Michael RV. We all have a multitude of insurance needs now. Jody Mack suggested, is there track insurance? Probably not. I know that Todd and I went over to see if there was suit insurance. There's not. But we have a lot of other insurance needs, and they handle all of those, the important ones. The ones we went to them about were the scary ones, but that's all right. But they make sure that everything is set, organized for you, you're fully insured, and they do everything they can to save you money because customer service means everything to the great people at Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. Imagine the relief Todd and I had when we went to our respective boxes and we found there was no invitation to the Suits exclusive championship game party.
Oh, I'm not proud. I would have went.
I'm really busy. I'm going to watch the games in Michigan on Sunday.
I was going to say you're not in a commutable distance.
I could be in Lewisburg. I'd find a spot. Oh, goodness gracious. But yeah, I actually have to go look and see exactly what time we are flying tomorrow. Because the game tonight is at 9 Eastern. We're on at 8:30 tonight. The game, if you want to watch the game, it's on FS1 tonight. Penn State Wrestling with Rutgers is at 8. That's on BTN. Okay? So you'll be able to get both in there if you wish. I'm going to text the King. Let's see. And see if we can get him on at 235. Every time I give him 235, he comes back with like 232, 233. So let's see if that works. All right. Team right now is at shoot-around. So when I'm done with this, my job will be to go get the pregame show. We haven't done that yet. So, which is fine.
I was also told to point out that you guys will follow the end of the Braves and Shamokin game tonight on KOK. But they should be done. They should be done by the time you tip.
Yeah, no kidding. Those games take an hour and 12 minutes. What time do they tip off?
7:30. Or no, it's out of Shamokin, maybe 7:15.
Oh, they'll be done by then. Jeez.
They should be.
I mean, and the post-game show's not worth listening to, so you can just go straight into what we do. Come on.
That's a little dig in on the Chief, though, too.
Is that the one time he talks? I hear silence on your end.
Now, I was told 7:15 airtime, 7:30 tip.
Is there a JV game before it?
Yeah, there should be.
That's probably why it's 7:30.
Yeah.
Because that's late for a high school game.
Oh, no, most of our high school games start at 7:30 around here.
Why?
Because JV tips at 6.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's been a long time since I went to a high school basketball game. Like, a long time. One of these days, maybe I'll go to one, but it's been a long time since I've been to one. I've been to more. Of late, I've been to more to youth hockey. I got an 8-year-old grandson playing. Okay, where the heck were we? It was down in Greensburg. I was down there 2 weeks ago for youth hockey. Because after that, then we all went to the Penguins game with Ottawa. Still waiting for the Penguins to score. It's like, come on, man. I was sitting there like thinking, geez, we went through all this to get here, and at least score a goal. Third period, 10 minutes ago, it sounded like Dick Girardi. Shoot it! Shoot it! Everybody, the whole arena, shoot it! Just get one. Oh, well. Okay, the defensive coordinator. Don't get excited that I'm going to talk about the defensive coordinator search. I'm not. I'm just saying that the waiting game continues, okay? That's all it is. And look, again, it doesn't matter when it happens, all right? It's that they end up with the best result. So as much as we would all like to have the name now, which I completely understand, okay, you're not going to have to wait too much longer. And you want to make sure that when it happens, right fit, right time. It's all that matters. Okay? Right fit, right time. And that's really all I'm going to say about it. And I'll leave it at that. Because I don't want to say anything out of turn, which is important. I know people will tune in, they'll say, when it comes to stuff like this, look, I always talk about the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So in putting myself into your shoes, you want me to say something. Okay? I get it. Now, if you put yourself in my shoes, in my job, my position, you'd know why I just will say, hey, look, just be patient. It's not the answer you want, but I at least recognize that there are questions out there. I got it. I got it. And again, I know people want to get some nuggets somewhere, and I understand that. Okay. The 6 transfers have all signed with Penn State. White, Waffle, Kyron Hudson, Devontae Ross, King Mack, and Shanahan, TJ Shanahan, have all signed. Now, the 2 I can really talk about are King Mack and Hudson, because obviously I've seen both of them play. Ross I saw on TV a couple of times, so I really, I know what his reputation is and what he can do. White I've seen on TV a couple of times, so I can talk a little bit about that. Owen and TJ, for me to sit there, I'm going to have to watch them in practice to start getting a real feel as to what they can and can't do out there, right? Because I didn't see them play. They may have been in games that I watched, but I'm not sitting there looking at the tackle. Like most people, I'm looking at the ball. But Mac, of course, I know really well from games and practices, and Hudson, lots of pregame film study, then seeing him in person. Those 2 pickups are outstanding. Ross has a great reputation, especially with the speed part of it. We'll see what else they want to do. Remember, a lot of things changed this year, and one of them is the 105-man limit on rosters. Man, that is that bugs me. And I think everybody knows that bugs me. Now, in basketball, with men's basketball going from 13 to 15, that's fine. All right, that's fine. I could have kept working with 13. Could have kept, but 15 makes sense. And for example, Penn State has 14 players on its current roster. They have 14. They have 13 scholarship players and 1 walk-on. Okay. Well, they'll have a roster limit of 15. Okay. Women's basketball didn't have to increase the roster size. They've been at 15 for years. But on the football part of it, 105 is the preseason number. You can get away with it in preseason because you spend most of the preseason with everybody working to get a job, and then finally you have to make decisions as to who is going to be on the D squad, the developmental squad. And, of course, part of their job is being the scout team. You need more people over there. And it's just the way you have to, if you're at a college football practice, now the Bucknell, I could see the Bucknell people are going, oh, we don't have 105. You know what I mean? I can understand that part of it. But when you're playing at the level Penn State's playing at, 120 is probably the right number. I mean, I could even live with 115, but 120 is the right number, in my opinion. And to me, if you had a 15-player practice squad, and everybody knows the practice squad, and by the way, through an injury or something like that, you're allowed to have somebody elevate to the 105, like the NFL does, that's a more, to me, practical solution. I mean, that's me, just based on observations as to how college football works. And I also don't want to see the walk-on go away. I mean, I don't want to see that happen. Why do you think the Burlsworth Trophy exists? My goodness, Baker Mayfield started his career as a walk-on and won the Heisman Trophy. Okay? Matt McGloin, we all know his story. All right? Dominic DeLuca, we know his story. Troy Drayton. Troy Drayton was a walk-on, tight end at Penn State, and ended up being a second-round pick of the Miami Dolphins. There's so many great walk-on stories. Because not everybody is – I know it's stunning in the world of 5 stars that not all the evaluations are spot on. I know those who follow recruiting are shocked. I know you're shocked. But not all of them. I mean, they do miss on some people. And to me, that's I want that door opened. I want that door opened, for example, to somebody who may only play the last couple of plays of a game that's out of hand, like a Tyler Holsworth. Well, you know what? That guy busts. Now, he's on special teams, by the way. But a guy like Holsworth who busts his backside every day to make everybody around him better. Right? Well, you never hear about him, but a guy like Jack Lambert who's taking those extra throws in practice, that helps out so much. There's just a long list of guys like that that may not be scholarship players, but my goodness, the contributions they make. And I don't want to lose that. To me, that's a special part of, being I don't know. Still, that's a part of college football. It's still a part of the college part of college football. That's me. I mean, you think about Holsworth, for example. Holsworth's from New Jersey. That family's paying out-of-state tuition. But he's still here playing and loves to play and is one of the great guys you'd ever want to be around. One of the great guys you'd ever want to be around.
Oh, walk-ons are the one. True believers is a little, but if you're going to walk on to a major Division I college football program, you have to, one, love the sport, obviously, and love the school.
And also have shown the coaches enough where they say, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah? This guy can play and help us. In other words, and when I mean this guy can play and help us, this guy can play and help us even as a practice player. He's good enough to make us better. It means a lot. It means a lot. We all know the story of watching Ryan Barker this year. What did Ryan Barker mean to Penn State football? We all knew at some point during the season, or any season, you're going to need your kicker to make a kick. Well, he did. All right. Now he's in that spot where he is on scholarship. Right? I mean, perfect example of this season of one of, quote, those guys. Now, would Ryan have been on the 105? Yes. He would have been on the 105 because I'm just basing that on the 105-man roster that was in camp. And Ryan was one of the guys in the 105 in camp, so he would have been on the 105. But, for example, how many long snappers do you carry now? How many kickers do you carry now? You know what I mean? There's a lot of decisions on roster construction that have to be made by coaches in this spot in football. And look, it's not as if, coaches in so many sports have had to make decisions over the years as to, I only have X amount of scholarships. How many quarter scholarships do I hand out, thirds, halves, right? Is that athlete so exceptional I give them a full, but I only have, which then limits the total number I can give. There's a lot of decisions people have to make. I mean, look, Cale Sanderson has been working with 9.9 like every other wrestling coach in the country. Well, last I checked, there are 10 spots in the lineup. You have 9.9. Used to be 11. They cut it by 10%. That's why it's 9.9. Well, that's going to go up. I think the number for wrestling, the max is going to be 33 on the roster limit. Now, I think you have to make decisions as to how many are scholarships. But again, for football, 105, I think you need to be allowed to have at least a 15-man practice squad roster. That's me. I mean, it's something I wish they would discuss because I think the 105 is an out-of-touch number with the game and how things are actually done. That's me. And look, this is, financially, this is your bread and butter. You open the door more to your bread and butter because everybody else needs it to be at its best. Everybody needs it to be at their best. They need your football to be at its best. Right? You need your basketball to be at its best. I mean, the one area, this is, ESPN can do all the E60s they want on various things. Not one time has ESPN done an E60 on the finances of college sports. Why? I mean, tell the truth. But they don't want to tell the truth when it comes to the finances of sports. Now, they're heavily involved in it. I mean, their contracts, which, by the way, have been very good contracts and have helped so many schools over the years. I mean, I'm not downing ESPN when it comes to that. But let's look at the incredible growth of this sport. But that sport's, the sport that they're talking about, incredible growth, which is great, and I'm thrilled for it, is still losing money by the bucket loads. Okay, and people think, like, for example, I'll give you an example. The people here in Iowa City are thrilled beyond words because next Sunday, Caitlin Clark's number is being retired. Okay? Well, Iowa women's basketball is not selling out this season. Okay? New coach, essentially all new team, the whole thing. They're getting really good crowds, but they're not selling out. Well, when they retire her number, the place is going to be bursting at the seams. Okay? I mean, there'd be a line from here to Dubuque to see her just come out there and wave to the crowd. All right? But she is a once in a generation story in this area. At least that'd be my gut feeling. I mean, she's special. Right? And I'm going to be interested to see how the tournament does this year because they don't have her presence out there. I think the ratings will still be strong. I think the attendance at whatever they do in terms of regionals will still be good. But I'm going to see what kind of impact overall it has just not having her there. That's where the WNBA has made a huge mistake. I mean, beyond words, a huge mistake. Right? For some reason, you've got people in that league that don't embrace her presence. Why? You should be happy. More people are watching you. Be happy. What, are you mad because they weren't watching you before? Well, they're watching you now. Thank her. I'll give you an example. Have you ever seen Phil Mickelson's interviews in the last, live golf aside. Let's throw that aside, okay? When he's talked about the PGA Tour and he talks about Tiger Woods, who'd be his primary rival, and Jack Nicklaus when he's talked about Arnold Palmer. Okay? They both know as individual players, Nicklaus has 18 major championships, Mickelson has 6, that they've had awesome careers. And Jack is the platinum standard, all right? But Nicklaus is the first guy to give credit to Arnold Palmer for what he did to make sure that golf became a TV must-see. And Mickelson will tell you, hey, without Tiger Woods, the rest of us aren't making this much money. Why can't you have that attitude? It's okay to look at somebody else and say, hey, thank God we got Caitlin Clark in this league. Everybody's watching us now. All right, final half hour coming up. And by the way, I didn't know that they were going to retire her number until this morning when I was leaving my room. They came in to clean the room, and the maid was telling me how excited she was that Caitlin Clark's number was being retired. That's how I found out. It's pretty cool they're excited about it. This half hour brought to you by Purdy Insurance. They have insurance needs for everything. They may not have suit insurance, but they've got everything else.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is because it's Brewers Outlet time. The Beverage Supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
When car repairs get difficult,
well, I just don't know.
Me neither.
we get good. Sunbury Motors. More than quality new and used cars, Sunbury Motors specializes in complicated auto repair diagnosis. They can handle intricate repairs and even complete auto body with service open Monday through Friday, 7 till 4. And Sunbury Motors has made simple repairs easy. Maintaining your vehicle is necessary. Finding the time to do it is difficult. Welcome to Sunbury Motors Quick Lane. Just walk in or call ahead. Relax in their remodeled waiting room with Wi-Fi, beverages, and snacks. While Sunbury Motors factory-trained techs take care of your oil change, tire alignments, brakes, and inspections. Quick Lane, 6:30 to 6 Monday through Friday, Saturday 6:30 till 2. Sunbury Motors, Ford and Hyundai, North 4th Street, Sunbury. And Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. We take the out of auto repair.
Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Brewers Outlet, Sunbury Motor Company, and Purdy Insurance. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Final half hour brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. Stock up now. It's going to be championship weekend. The Eagles in their 8th NFC championship game in 24 years. They take on Washington Sunday at 3. Bills and Chiefs at 6:30. You need to be fully stocked and ready to go. That means Brewers Outlet. Imports, domestics, microbrews. The best selection of beer anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drinks, lots and lots and lots and lots of snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and out every day. 6 great flavors of slushies. Ready-to-drink cocktails now. Jack Daniels, Crown Royal, High Noon, and the Pickle Bar, led by the world-famous, at least in my eyes, Barrels and the Dills. Indeed, second to none. All at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the beverage supermarket. Well, I texted the king. I didn't get a response.
I assumed as much since the phone didn't ring.
I know. I tried. Look, see, ever since we've gone to the 1-3 model, and we've been in this model now for, I think more than a year and a half now, right? It's more difficult for him as opposed to when we were doing 3-5, because 3-5, he kind of gets to the end of the workday and he could join us in the whole deal. 1-3, I mean, he's either working on a job or he's probably out on a job or something. It's just, I don't want to impede his ability to make a little bit of coin. So if he can't make it work, he can't make it work. He is not shunning us. Okay?
Maybe not me.
He's not shunning you. He's not shunning me either. I understand. Look, I understand. Like he'll get back to me later. He goes, I was in this job in Simsbury. I was in this job in Springfield. I was in this job in Glastonbury. I'm like, okay, I got it. Hey, if anybody knows, I would know because let's see. Whoa. Dick Girardi. Because I grew up in the thing. I understand it. It's just the way business is. I grew up in it. Yeah. What do you think? I think I'd be working there during semester breaks, trimester breaks, because we had trimesters back then. Trimester breaks and summers and things like that, and I worked there in high school, the whole thing. I got it. What do you think? If 4:30 came around and I wasn't quite done with the job, I was like, we're going to leave. No, I stayed and finished it. This is the nature of the business. It's what you got to do. All right. Now, at some point, he's going to retire. Hey, guess who's been encouraging him to retire?
You.
Now, right. Only because he busts his backside on this thing all the time. He's 65. All right? He's 65. And I would like to hope that, he can wind it down a little bit at this point. I mean, look, no offense, but my job's fun and exciting. So I'm not even considering retirement because I'm having a good time doing it. I feel like doing what I do. I mean, to be honest with you, it's fun, exciting, the whole thing. I feel like it's actually added years to my life. Depressing the masses on that one. Oh, God, really? How many more years? All right. But I have a fun job. I mean, I'm doing basketball tonight. I'm going to be sitting at a basketball game announcing it. Now, did I have to work and everything else to do that? Sure. Do I put my time in? Yeah, all the things that you don't hear or you don't see, you put a lot of work in. But it's sports. I'm not out there trying to weld sheet metal when it's 96 degrees out in the summertime trying to weld a tank. I've done that before. All right? Was it gratifying when they filled the tank and it didn't leak? Yes. It was like more relief. I'm like, oh, thank you, God. Because I welded 3 of those tanks once outside for one particular job, and they were huge. Like, huge tanks. And when they finally filled it with water, I'm like, oh, please don't leak, please don't leak, please don't leak. It's like, oh, thank you, God. But I do sports. My job's fun. Everything he does, I mean, okay? It's work. Now, do I work? Yeah, I work. But it's not like that. I'm going to be, for goodness sakes, I'm sitting out in Glendale, Arizona, announcing the Fiesta Bowl, which millions of people are watching, and I get to do. I'm out in Miami, at Miami Gardens, doing the Orange Bowl. It didn't turn out the way I'd hoped it would turn out. Of course not. Right? It was crushing in the end. But imagine being the one that gets to sit there and do it. Working with Jack Ham. I've got basketball tonight with Dick Girardi. My job's fun and exciting. What he does is it's hard work.
Steve, the king is with us.
Oh, my goodness. I just went through this entire diatribe about how hard you work.
That's awesome! What up?
How are you?
I'm good. I didn't know you called. I just came up and got my phone because I needed a calculator, and I saw you called at 10 after 2 or whatever. So whatever.
Yeah. Hey, no, I was just saying, like I know you can't do it now, okay? But as you know, I've been the person that has been encouraging you at some point to retire, enjoy life.
Well, if someone will come along and buy the company like today, I'll sell it to them. First thing I'll do is get the ladder and take sign off the building.
Okay, that's 1-800
and just auction it off and get absolutely nothing. It'll probably cost me money, but I can't just do that because I still got to pay the rent, the utilities, and all the other stuff while I'm closed.
So,
at least
again,
I can pay the stuff.
So again, that number is 1-888 offer now. 1-888 offer now. Give us a call. Operators are standing by.
$1.
Oh, so I got to ask you, what do you think about the 2 games on Sunday? You got the Eagles and the Commanders, and you have the Bills and the Chiefs. Now here, the Eagles mean everything to the populace. All right, so that's where all the interest has been all week. So what do you think?
The Eagles, man for man, are better. Can Saquon Barkley go off? If he does, it'd be a long day. I would keep the rookie quarterback off the field as much as I could. So.
Yeah, he's. You know what? Nick Saban said the 2 toughest players he ever had to prepare for in his career were Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels.
Both, that was true.
Yep. Right. Okay. I mean, that tells you a lot about, and you see how great Burrow's been, and it's been a terrific rookie season for Daniels. I'll say this,
and I think
Daniels
there
is
won't
unflappable.
be a sophomore jinx with him either. He's so cool. I mean, he's just having fun. It's weird,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, you can tell he's out there and he's having a good time. He is the centerpiece of what they want to do, and they made the right choice. Washington's made some bad choices over the years. He's not one of them.
Well, that being said, the Eagles' defense is really good.
They are. They are really good.
They're going to make it tough for him, but I mean, Washington reminds me of the Giants the year the Patriots were undefeated.
Yeah.
That the Giants, by the end of the year, were playing at an incredibly high level, and it didn't matter how good the other teams were. They were just peaking at the right time. I don't know. I've never seen a year where there's no. All four teams are really, 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 really good. And I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them won. You know, I'd be like, oh, wow, what an upset. I don't see an upset on either side. Either team who wins earned it. So.
Well, it's amazing because you mentioned the Giants and the Patriots. And the Giants, with Tom Coughlin, were the one team that, whatever reason, matched up well with the Patriots. And I don't know why they matched up well, but there's something about the matchup. Washington in recent years has always – doesn't mean Washington's won all the time, but they've always matched up pretty well with Philadelphia, and they've won some over the years. How about that?
Yeah, and the difference is that the Eagles and Washington, they've already played each other twice this year, so it's not, you know, like – boy, what are we going to do? You know, and they know each other very well, and it's going to be man on man. I mean, if you put it on paper, the Eagles are a better team, but I wouldn't say the Eagles have played their best football the last couple weeks either. So where Washington has. So.
I'll say this: Barkley has. Saquon's been great. He really.
I just tell the guy here, Helmer's son, Stephen Wolf. He's a big-time chef. He's a huge Giant fan, and he said, "I know Barkley's good, but he's not that good." And I said, "Give him an offensive line and watch what he can do." You know, and now he's like, "Why didn't he do that with the Giants?" I said, "Because they don't have an offensive line. You know, you get Barkley in the second level, and he's gone."
Yep.
I remember going to a Penn State game, and they were warming up. Barkley was playing at Penn State, and I was up in the booth, and I said to you, how come, I think it was number 20 at the time, I said, how come number 20 is going full speed and everybody else going half speed? And you said, they're all going full speed. He's just twice as fast.
yeah. Barkley was 26. Yeah,
26, whatever. Yeah. And then he returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. So,
well, you know, when he came to Penn State, I'm going. I go to practice the first day, and after the second day, Jack Ham called, and Jack says, "Hey, Steve, I'm going to be coming to practice this weekend. Give me a couple hints of what I should watch for." And I said, "You need to watch the Barkley kid, 26, Jack." It's completely different. That's after the second practice.
I mean, that play where he was backwards, jumped over the guy. It's like, I watched it about 20 times. I said, "Oh my God, how did the vision, the balance, I don't know, and the unselfishness." It's just incredible.
He's got all of that. And I'll tell you a story about that because they took place on a Sunday, and Penn State practices on a Sunday. Yeah, it's a walkthrough, you know, corrections day. And Kenny Sanders comes over, who's on the recruiting staff, and I'm standing with the two team doctors, Greg Billy and Wayne Spashinelli. And he says, "You need to see this." And he's showing us the play on the phone. And if you remember, the first part of it is Barkley makes this spin move. And Doc Billy says, wow, what a spin move. And Kenny says, wait. And we all went, oh, my goodness.
Did you see the reaction on the Eagles sideline? The guys just shook their head and walked to the bench. They were like, you got to be kidding me.
We're not going to lose.
And I don't know if you've seen the film, but what's the head coach, Nick Sirianni? Is he the head coach?
Yeah, he's Nick Sirianni, yeah.
Sirianni walks up to him at, I don't know which game, but he says, look, you only need like 20 yards to get the all-time record. He said, I'll only take you out if you tell me to, but I want you to get the record. He said, no, take me out, let the young guys get some time. I was like, holy crap. And he could have broke the record easy. He said, the record don't mean nothing to me. So he said the young guys need to get some time under their belt.
Yeah, I'll give you. Let me give you one. They are playing Georgia State, so they're naturally they're blowing them out. And Nick Urey scored a touchdown. The guy that went running out and was lifting him in the air was Saquon.
Yeah.
Here's the walk-on from Lake Lehman High School. Okay, right where the Penn State Wilkes-Barre campus is. And the first, because he was so happy for him. That's just the way he is. You should see him on Sunday night. They do the developmental squad scrimmage on Sunday night. And he'd be out there. And I remember when Journey Brown at this point had not, right? And he's breaking off runs, and he's the guy running down the field, hugging him, yelling for him. He's really the team guy.
He's a great guy. And he's highly competitive. I forgot what it was, whether it was a Pro Bowl or something, and they were all like playing like dodgeball and stuff like that. And man, he had to win.
Oh yeah, but you know what?
The best at everything.
He's at the state track and field meet when he's in high school.
Yeah.
It's always been one of my favorite stories about him. And there was a race run. Girl wins it. Okay? But something happened and they had to rerun the race. And when they reran it, she didn't win. And he took his gold medal and gave it to her. He said, you won.
Oh, wow.
See, and I remember talking to him about that. It was just one of those, like, it's just who he is. Yeah,
he likes to compete. That's it.
Oh, he's a perfectionist.
I don't think he cares about the accolades. I mean, they're talking about him being now the MVP.
He could care less.
I don't think he cares about that. I want him.
Nope.
I want the Eagles to win. Mainly because of Barkley and because of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts he's another one who's been unselfish his whole career. Took a back seat at Alabama, and never complained. Could have started for any team in the country and took a back seat. So
yes, no doubt.
I'd like to see both those guys get a Super Bowl ring. As much as I admire Kansas City, I'm sick of them. I move on. No, I don't like what Mahomes is doing, and they've got to change some rules. And he's a great athlete, and don't get me wrong, he's a GOAT all the way. He'll be right up there at the end of his career. But this deal of him flopping now, and I don't like that.
Can't do it.
And you can't go running out like you're going to slide, and then everyone backs off, and then you take off and run. That's just I don't
that's
like
wrong.
That's poor sportsmanship. So,
that's
the defensive
too much
teams, their backs against the wall now with these quarterbacks. Where is he going to slide or isn't he? And if he slides and I hit him, it's a 15-yard penalty. If I back off because I think he's going to slide, and then he takes off, he gains another 15 yards. It's not, I don't like that. So.
Yeah, well, I'll never forget the first time I saw something like that. And it's not a slide. I'm watching Virginia Tech play West Virginia. It was one of those Thursday night, Friday night games. All right, and Michael Vick was the quarterback for Virginia Tech, and he's going down the sideline, and he started to slow down like he was going to go out of bounds, and all the West Virginia guys backed off. Why?
Right.
Because they don't want to hit him out of bounds. And he kept going down the sideline for another 30 yards. Like what are you doing? My first thought was, you can't do that. All right? And that was the first time I saw something like that. That's what's happening now with the slide thing. You're so right.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes was smart. Hats off to him. He's going to take advantage of everything he can get. And as long as the rule says it, he's going to do it. And it's up to, if you're the other team, maybe you just say, you know what, we'll give up the 15-yard penalty and we'll let old, remember Tim Brown on our football team? Remember how strong he was back at Enfield High School?
Well, have a great weekend.
You too. Enjoy the games. So sorry I came on late.
I got a game tonight here in Iowa, so that's where I am right now.
Another state. So.
Yep, I got a game here tonight in Iowa. Then I'm off to Michigan tomorrow, and got a game Monday night in Ann Arbor. So it's a long weekend road trip.
Yeah,
then I go to California. Then I go to California in 2 weeks. I'll see Los Angeles firsthand.
I'll still be in South Windsor. Boy, you'll see the fires. So. Well, have a safe trip.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye, Todd.
You're listening to News Radio